based on what I see out in my driveway. I do apologize. I'm having to do this from home, and I'm not well prepared because all my documentation is in my office. So please excuse me for that. We'll jump right in. We have a market campaign update from Christopher.
Sounds good. So Megan, are you going to pull up the presentation, or am I taking over the screen?
I will pull it up. Just bear with me.
How much time do you want me to keep it to? Like 5-10 minutes, or long?
Yeah, 10 minutes would be great.
Okay.
Sorry, I have like 18 screens open, so I'm trying to figure out how.
If you, I can't take over. Okay.
There it is. You can, okay. Can you guys see that?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Okay. If you can advance the slide, Megan. And, go ahead and advance one more. Okay, so just in summary, basically you have two campaigns running. You have the Make Home Here campaign and the Possibilities campaign. Make Home Here, as you probably know, is designed to reach out and make Otsego County an option for people that are looking to exit the New York City metro area, looking for a different type of lifestyle, making sure that when they're doing those searches or thinking about it, you're coming up. And then the second campaign is See Otsego, See the Possibilities, which is designed for people that are searching for industrial site, relocating bigger businesses, that type of thing. You can go to the next slide. We just went over the purpose. We can go to the next slide, Megan, please. So long story short, there's two components to the campaign. Basically, on one front, you've got ads that are running that are basically in front of these people. They kind of look like this, variations of this. They're on LinkedIn, they're on Facebook. And the ads basically speak towards the quality of life for the individual side, and then the business opportunities on the business side. We can go to the next slide. And then those campaigns go to landing pages, and then those landing pages are designed to what we call convert. So PaperKite has set up the campaign and the landing pages. People click on the ads, they go to the pages, hopefully they're interested and attracted to the area. And then the idea is that they click for more information, they call, whatever it might be. Next slide, please. So I'm sure most of you have seen, basically we were able to do a quick photo shoot at the end of the season, the end of the fall there. We got some really good local photography of both lifestyle shots and also all the different economic opportunity type shots. So we did aerial drones and this and that over a 2-day shoot. So all these photos and videos that we made, little mini commercials, those are all running right now as online ads. You can go to the next slide, please. So performance so far, next slide. So the campaign's been running about 2 months. Big picture, there's been about 600,000 impressions, which is probably the least valuable stat, but basically that means the name Otsego County has been in front of 600,000 people. 2,900 people of those 600,000 have gone and looked at the websites. 565 have engaged with the social, like those cool videos and photography. They've either liked them or scrolled through them or whatever they did from those, they've shared them. 1326 from Facebook went to the website from Facebook, 1,326. 96 on LinkedIn. The LinkedIn campaign is designed again for mostly those business relocations, like people are seeing those in their feed, clicking for more information. And then 6,200 people have watched those videos that were produced for both sides of the campaign. Go to the next slide, Megan. So the next slide is what we call conversion. Conversions are difficult to track, but basically what it means is, okay, it's all great that they went to the website, but how many people actually took the next step? And so the next step in our case would be the custom itinerary downloads. 36 people downloaded the itinerary from the Make Home Here campaign. 59 requests went to the tourism site for more information. And then Megan had about 50 plus email requests for more information. So those are the conversions. Can we go to the next slide, Megan? So at this time, reviewing everything that's going on, we've been making slight modifications every week, but from a big picture standpoint, a lot of the budget is going towards, there's two types of online ads. There's when people are searching, that's Google, they're searching for something, you're coming up. And then there's like Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads. Those are targeted ads that are basically trying to put you in front of people that are not searching. So a lot of your budget right now is being eaten up by the people that are searching, which might sound good on paper, but a lot of those people are, searching for, we just don't know at what point they're searching for, what county they're searching for. So a lot of the budget's being eaten up by that. So ideally, Otsego now really, like every IDA, every county really should always have at least a small online marketing campaign for those keywords running, even if it's like $5,000-6,000 a year. But right now, that a lot of that's being eaten up. The Make Home Here portion of it's being eaten up by that. So I would like to kind of adjust the campaign a little bit to put a little bit more focus on the putting ads in front of people that are the right people, and less on people doing generic searches for commercial real estate. I think it will have a little bit more luck there. And then, like I mentioned, the permanent dedicated AdWords campaign. I think those keywords really should just be something that should be budgeted every year, even if whatever you can afford. Just always, if someone's searching commercial real estate at Otsego County, I think Otsego Now should be popping up. And the only way to force that to happen is with AdWords. And then finally, I think one of the missing components from this is some type of e-newsletter drip campaign post. So in other words, you have all these people going to the website and thousands of people going through. I think it would be good. They might be looking today, not really ready to make contact for months or years. So getting all those contacts into some type of email newsletter campaign, something that's just keeping the Otsego name in front of them until their decision-making time comes about. So basically, in a nutshell, that's the campaign. As you may or may not know, there are links where anyone can set up by PaperKite. You can go to the link at any time and look at the campaign performance. With the link, it's always live, always updated. So with that said, any questions on the campaign or what we're working on?
Yeah, I guess I would ask, obviously awareness and conversion are great metrics to be looking at, but have you set any or established any success metrics? Like, what are we trying to achieve and trying to target to consider this campaign successful?
Well, what we were tasked with was making sure that the people that are looking for alternative lifestyles outside of the metropolitan area, that Otsego County is an option. And from that standpoint, I think that the campaign is successful. The people that are looking and the people that are within the targeting, they seem to be going by industry standards. Your click-through rate and your conversions are average or slightly above average. But we really do need the first couple months to really determine what this campaign looks like and what is successful. So I hate to kick it back, but from industry standards, the campaign's working. The right people are going to the site. People seem to be contacting, connecting. So as far as Otsego County's standpoint, what does success look like, and what determines success, I think is for you guys to let us know.
I guess, Jody, that's probably a challenge for you to continue to work with Chris to identify that. So I know, in speaking with Megan and Jody, there were, over 50 emails, but any kind of outreach has left no response. So understanding, for Jody and Megan, are you guys looking at actual conversion of emails What would success look like for you as we look at this investment? Are we getting what you anticipated and what you'd hoped? Obviously, awareness is always, beneficial, but in the end, are we looking for actual conversion, and what does that look like to you guys? So you don't have to answer now. I think it's just a matter of continuing to work with Chris around that and understand, is there adjustments that continue to be made to, again, force perhaps more conversion or force more action, or you're feeling comfortable with what you're seeing?
Yeah, and I think I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think Chris's suggestions that he kind of closed with adjusting the campaign and adding the sort of the email newsletter component, I think would be a large benefit. I know that most people who are looking for these types of or looking at these types of decisions, I wouldn't expect to hear anything concrete within 6 months. I mean, if I was in their shoes, reaching out and looking at some town or whatnot, and I got more information, I'm probably not going to email them back. I've got the information and I'm going to mull it over for 6 months, 12 months before I, be like, what, let's move, let's go to this place. And so I think that email newsletter that sort of touches base once a month, once every 6 months, something like that, so that as they're sort of mulling over the decision over a number of months, it's always in front of them. That's really hard to measure because I don't think we're going to have like a measurable metric of how many people moved to Otsego County as a result of this campaign. I think that's going to be hard to measure, at least within the next 12 to 24 months. But
yeah, I guess I just want to be clear on the emails. Is what was received was asking for more information. And so Megan reached out to understand, well, what are you looking for? And not a single one responded with anything. So.
Yeah. And I think, so there's a really important thing I think to consider here with any marketing of county, any, economic development work. Really the question is building top of mind awareness where when people are, is Otsego County a known entity? Is it a known choice? Is it a known option? Because as you know, I mean, we're not selling sweaters online where they click buy it now and we can just track those conversions right through the chain. I think in my 20 years of marketing experience working with different municipalities, towns, economic development, your best bet is to increase that name ID, and that eventually is gonna yield. But I think it's a good time to really clarify to see this campaign linked to an actual sale where somebody moves their business with 50 people here or 1,000 people. I think that's an extremely tall order, but I do know that if long term you're out there, your name's out there, that is going to yield results. So it's but yeah, the follow-up is key, and I think that Megan's obviously did a great job responding to them, but we put a passive response system, an automated response, where basically, okay, she does the response, she does her follow-up a week later, that system's down, but now we're going to keep that name in front of them, very long term, because who knows, that site planner, maybe he's looking around today and 3 years from now he's got a project. So it's really important to keep the Otsego name in front of these people.
Yeah. As you were talking, Chris, I realized the short-term goal has been reached where we've got it up, we've got a presence, we're getting that click rate, and really we have to look at that long-range goals. And I think those long-range goals, and having worked with you, they change. They change, they evolve, and it's got to be multi-dimensional. There's not a website that does everything. It's just not meant that way. It's how do we build and add on that. That's going to be really important for us to look at over the next year and the 5 years. It's got to be something I think that's top of mind all the time, because then when that person who is really ready to go, there's something there for that person. Because I agree with Josh, it isn't something of, oh my God, I just saw this, I'm going to move. It's really being in your consciousness in many different ways, and from multiple people as well. It's not a single thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you've got a good foundation now. I think before you didn't have a lot of these assets. So now, like you said, Patricia, I think building on it is great.
Yeah.
Megan and Jody, is it possible to get like a monthly report that we could send out to our members so we can follow the traffic, look at all the, the metrics that we've established?
Yeah, they sent out the dashboard to us, so everyone should already have access to that dashboard.
Yeah, I think literally, Megan, you could always just include that link in your monthly email, and it's always up to date. So absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That'll be good for us to track.
Chris, did you forward those slides to Megan too? That the ones she was showing?
I can
Yes.
send it.
Megan, can you forward? Were they in? You didn't forward those to us yet, right? Because I don't think I saw those.
No, they weren't included in the board email.
Can you forward those? Because I think I'm Chris, if you don't mind, I'll forward them to the rest of the board. The board of representatives, just so they can see that information. So, I mean, I think this is the right step for us. I think we've talked with destination marketing about this. They don't feel this is their fit. This is a fit for them, and I tend to agree. They they have a very specific focus on building more overnights and attracting people here to stay and spend money in hotels, which generates bed tax. They're not in the business of getting people to move here or relocate their businesses. And I think if Otsego now doesn't step in to do that, we don't have another mechanism to do that. And I think maybe there's things we can look at regarding destination marketing where we could try to build out more of that landing page and kind of the community, the quality of life that destination marketing might be able to share or cross promote. I mean, I think this is a great starting point.
Great. And both of the objectives are not counterproductive. They should be working together to reach those goals, because you can visit a place, so I'd like to see the synergy between the two rather than everybody saying, why aren't you doing that? There's not one place that's going to do everything for you. And I think instead of thinking it's competing, it's nearly not. It should be a way to converge the two so that they support each other. But I agree, we've been talking for a while. We've been always talking about come and visit. We need people to stay. We need them to visit, great, but we need people to stay so that we can prosper.
I just want to pick up, on what you said, Patricia, because I've heard from people that I know that had short-term rentals this summer, not really, like the typical tourist. But we had a lot of people come here and had never been here and really were taken in by the area, and I think those are the people, if we can better figure out how to connect to those people who came or still will come from a short-term rental perspective that that really would consider their own business or relocating here. I mean, there's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because anecdotally, the short-term rentals were a different group of people. A lot of people coming from the city who didn't want to get on a plane, rented a place, and I've heard the same thing kind of round from friends and family who said, oh, they went to Cooperstown and they went to, and had a great time. And it's, that's a good point.
All right. Any other questions for Chris? All right. Well, thank you, Chris. We really appreciate the presentation this morning.
All right. Have fun shoveling, guys, and we'll talk to you later.
Yes, you're good. Good to see you.
All right, Megan, you bring up the agenda, if you would, please.
There you go.
All right. This is also an eye test for me on my iPhone. Let's see here. Approval of the meeting minutes from our October 22nd COIDA board meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review those minutes? If so, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll make them.
Thank
Cheryl,
you.
second.
Second, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll go right into the report of the Audit and Finance Committee and Treasurer. I don't know if Jeff is on the line.
He's not.
Okay. You've all had a chance to review the report that was in the package. Any questions, comments? All right, move down to bills and communications. You want to put those up for me, Megan?
Yeah, it just takes a minute because it's a different app. So
Sure.
1 sec. Okay. There they are. Most of them are normal expenses. The AmTrust is our workers' comp, so that's an annual expense. The CGR is an annual expense. Hartford Fire Insurance, that's an annual expense. But everything else, all expenses that we normally pay. Paper Kite, the marketing campaign that we are still paying on.
Okay. Yeah, those all look fine to me. Any questions or concerns from anyone in the group?
No questions.
All right. Can we get a motion to approve paying the bills?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Dave. Second?
Josh will second.
Thank you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. And we'll move into, let's see, what's next?
Report of projects.
Thank you. All right, Cheryl.
Yeah, I'll let the meeting minutes stand if anyone has any questions or comments.
Nope. All right. Move right into new and unfinished business.
So we did send out a couple resolutions to the board. The first one being a resolution to hire Mostert, Manzanero, and Scott for our 2020 audit services. We did look up if we're able to hire that firm again, or what the basis is, and we can use the same firm. We just can't use the same auditor every 5 years. And Mary, who has done our audit, she's only been a partner for the last 3 years, so it would be okay to have Mary continue to do the audit. Just with the crazy year that we've had, we don't know that we want to hire a new audit firm to get into our books this year. So we would recommend continuing our services with them.
I'll make the motion.
Is a motion on the floor to approve? To a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Any further discussion or questions? I know that Joe Scott, you're on the line, I believe.
Yes.
Good morning, Joe. I just want to confirm, is that all right for us to do that? Continue on with the same auditing company?
Yes, I would concur with the comment about the partner in charge. Under the ABO rules and the public authorities rules, you can maintain the same accounting firm, but you need to circulate the resident partner or the partner in charge of the account every, and I believe Megan's right, 5 years. So that's really the issue. Separately, there is some pronouncements from the state regulatory bodies about doing procurement every several years, and most of the IDs that we work with enter into 3 or 4 year arrangements with accounting firms and do an at that time. So I think you're within the bell curve in terms of what you're doing, and I would certainly concur that had a crazy year. It's probably not the best time to change accounting firms.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All right. We have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Resolution passes. Thank you. All right. Next one, Megan.
So the next one is a resolution authorizing one signatory and checks under 5,000. I believe this was discussed at the audit and finance meeting. So basically, any checks that are under $5,000 would only require one signature on them. And then any checks over 5,000 would require our current system of 2 signatories. And so I've already discussed.
And we should mention,
Sorry.
that we checked with our accounting firm and they concurred with that we could do this.
Yeah.
Okay. And does this also allow us to do online checking so we don't have to have you running all over town to get people to sign checks?
Well, it would actually lead to our next resolution, which makes Jody a signatory. So I see Jody every day in the office. So by him being a signatory, he would be that one signatory. And then we would also have the end of the month review by Jim. So there still would be 3 layers of me printing the checks, Jody signing the checks, the board reviewing the checks first, Jody signing, and then Jim checking at the end of the month. Just for the checks on.
Okay. All right. So what's the pleasure of the committee?
I make that motion.
I second that motion.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Dave. We have a motion on the floor. Any further comments? All right. Can I get a motion to, all in favor of the motion that's on the floor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. And then finally, the resolution authorizing Jody or the CEO as signatory for checks on behalf of the IDA. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I heard.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you both. I appreciate that. All right, any further discussion regarding this motion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. All right, 139.
Jeff, I'm going to drop off now. I just want to wish everybody a happy holiday and a safe holiday, and we'll see you in the new year. Thank you,
You
guys.
too, Patricia. Thank you so much for everything you do for us.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Aye.
All right, go ahead, Jody or Megan, 139.
I'll touch on this, Jody. So we did mention we had a company that was interested in 139 Commerce Road, and at our last meeting there were some questions over whether they would be eligible to be there based on zoning, and the town did come back and say that they were not eligible. But the town did say that if they wanted to apply for a variance, that they could do that, and the company was interested and wanted to apply for a variance. So I advised them prior to that the rent would be about $4,200 a month, which is based on the rent appraisal that we have for the building. And I also told them that in the meantime of them getting this variance, which could take up to 2 months, if someone were to come to us to buy or lease the building, that we would obviously still consider them based on the current town zoning, and so, even with a variance request in, we could potentially still put someone else inside, and they still decided they still want to go through with the variance. They had to have an application in on the 14th, a couple days ago. They reached out to us about a half hour before the end of the day and asked that we sign something, as they have to be a representative of the IDA since it is our building. So we didn't feel comfortable signing that in that short amount of time, and B, without checking with the board first. So that's why we're bringing it to you now. So they would potentially have to wait another month to put in that application for a variance request.
Can you remind me why they need a variance again?
The automotive, right?
Well,
Yeah, it's working. Yeah, go ahead.
They sell products to the general public, which is basically considered retail.
So in other words, they don't deliver. There possibly could be traffic going there to purchase things.
They can do that as well, but they do have walk-in traffic.
I'm fine with making the motion for the resolution to request the variance. Might as well pursue all options.
All right, we got a motion on the table. Is there a second?
would second it just to move us to discussion.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. Now we'll go, any other further comments, discussion, questions?
I guess my only question is are we comfortable kind of pursuing something or helping somebody pursue something that might start to unravel the intent of the business park? I mean, again, getting somebody in, obviously, from a revenue standpoint is beneficial. Just wondering from a longer term strategic viewpoint, is that something we want to start embarking on for our properties?
Oh, that's a good question.
What exactly is what's the name of the company again? I know they work on trucks or something.
Yeah, it's bird trucking.
Bird trucking, and the issue with the variance is the type of work they're doing, or the fact that that there would be traffic in the business park.
I believe it's the type of work that they're doing, but
Well, and it's also that any business that allows the general public to come prohibited now. So, except for professional offices, you can't have any type of public right now come in and purchasing anything, bringing in vehicles to be repaired. And that's one of the issues on the variant about the public, the authorization to the park.
Are they located on Old Southside Drive right now?
yes.
Okay.
And obviously that, I mean, we had a discussion with Cheryl on this the other day. One of the other concerns is that I don't believe there's any new job creation associated with this, but at the same time, Hale Transportation will have any job creation as well. So it becomes a question of, are we just using this building as a revenue use for, which may not be a bad thing.
What kind of lease are they looking for? What length? Do we know?
Megan, I think they wanted a yearly lease with an option to renew for up to 3 years.
Correct. Or the option to buy at that time.
Sorry, Jody, I couldn't hear what you said.
Megan, why don't you repeat that?
I think they wanted
My phone's dying.
they wanted to lease up to 3 years, and then with the option to buy at that time.
Okay. Well, I mean, there is always a possibility that the town planning board will not grant them a variance also, so.
I just wondered when Tenter was down there, you know, I mean, again, I'm just thinking, you know, Tenter did that big open house. A lot of us went to it, but to me, like Tenter would be like, I got the impression that, you know, people interested in seeing kind of their setup could go there and see kind of their mock-up. And that almost sounds to me like it would be outside the variance. I'm just
because I think Tenter was just they kept all the supplies because you know they built tents.
Yeah.
And so I don't think people would come there to actually, you know, purchase their stuff. If you wanted Tenter to use your property, they would take that stuff to your property. So
and bring it. Got it.
So I think,
but I could see where, you know, to me, Tenter, it would just be almost a natural step, you know, if they wanted to do that, then suddenly they would have to request a variance. So I could see where this might come up in the future, where it isn't necessarily a bad thing. You know, if they wanted general public to come in, showcase their product, even be able to, like, I think about custom electronics with some of their product they're showcasing. Like, what if a business just wanted to go buy direct right in their showroom?
Yeah, I definitely don't see it as a bad thing. I guess the question for this board is, are we comfortable moving in that direction, and perhaps what could it do to property or other tenants and their feeling about the property and their expectations? So,
Are there other tenants in the business park there?
there are, yes.
Mm-hmm.
is there any outreach to those tenants that we should consider?
Well, the name.
Well, I assume that the variance process would notify all those businesses within 500 feet of the business.
Yep, they have to do that for variance.
Okay.
My question would be for Joe, in that if we, in fact, countersigned or signed on to allow this variance request to go through, that create any issues for us, you know, a year from now if we chose not to do the same for another company?
Well, I would like to see what we're signing and then talk to Jody about it. I'm not that familiar with the details here, Dave. Anytime the IDA does something, it creates precedent. I mean, you're a governmental body, so you want to be careful about what you're doing, you know. So what I would suggest is, you know, council take a look at what's being requested, and I dive into the details a little bit with Jody to make sure that we understand what we're doing, and we put in our resolution approving, if we want to move forward on this, we put in the resolution why we're doing this so that it distinguishes potentially a subsequent matter that we can say no to, because we don't want to be, you know, the standard with governmental entities is arbitrary and capricious. You don't want to be arbitrary and capricious. You want to treat everybody the same.
Yeah, and their variance request is going to have to be very specific as to what they are requesting. So I think I like what Joe says, and I would suggest that we go in that direction.
So just table it.
Yep, I would withdraw my second.
Okay, and Andrew, would you like to amend your motion?
Yeah, I mean, do we withdraw it or can we table it? I mean, what's the best procedure?
You can amend your motion to table it, or you could actually amend it to move it to projects committee for the next project committee.
Yeah, I'll just amend the motion to kind of refer this to projects committee to pursue.
Okay, and do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
All right, Chair.
Hi.
All right. Any opposed? Thank you.
Joe.
And then the last one we've got is the project tracker.
I think Joe, did you have something you wanted to say on that?
Yeah, I don't think it's super material, but I don't want to gum up the works here. Is this time sensitive? So we have time to refer it to project committee and have council look at it. I just don't know what the sense of the board is with respect to this matter.
I'm not sure. I know that he needed to have the variance request in for this month on December 14th. So I'm not sure what the date is for January. I know that our projects meeting is on January 14th. So if it becomes an issue where he needs to have it in by the 13th, obviously I could, send that out to the projects committee and let them know. Obviously I'd have you guys review it first. But
okay, so we're good then. Okay, got it. Okay.
I guess just to piggyback though, I would, let's see if we can't get at least an answer for them by the next due date.
yes.
Yeah, I agree. We should try to help. If we're going to support this, then Joe's review of getting kind of going to projects would be helpful.
Yeah, and that is time sensitive. It has to be in so they can be in front of the planning board in January.
All right. Next on the agenda is the project tracker. Do you want me to pull that up? Because I don't have it in front of me if you do.
Well, I can quickly talk about it. Everybody has a copy of it. It will show you all the projects from January 2018 to present. The color keys are the projects that are in gray are projects that are actually completed. Projects that are in red, which are the broadband initiative, Geneva site, and right now the halal meat processing facility are all on hold. So those are not right now moving ahead. We do have some other ones. All the other ones are listed in green, which means they're moving ahead or nearing completion, with some of the exceptions being the Ford block building restoration, that's in yellow mode. because right now they're going to make a determination the first quarter of 2021 whether to move ahead with that. But we thought it would be helpful to give you a summary of every project that we've been working on.
This is great.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, I like this.
Great.
Oh, very nice.
So you do have a copy of this
All right, now
if you want to look at it a little deeper.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions or comments from the committee? All right, we'll move right now into anything else you want to say on that, Megan or Jody?
Yeah, I do have one other discussion. I got a call yesterday from Ed May, who's representing Mr. Trefferson. 5 years ago, we had purchase offers on the 2 buildings that Trefferson owns on Roundhouse Road all the way to the west. They're in pretty bad shape, I think. And the original purchase offer that we agreed to was a $250,000 for both buildings. 2 years ago, when we had this discussion, I went back and said the most I would give you for those properties is $150,000. They never responded, and now they want to know if we're still interested in purchasing those buildings for $150,000. Given the financials and the uncertainty of everything, I would recommend that we just tell them that they're do what you want with those buildings.
What's the acreage for those buildings? Do we know?
They each sit on about an acre lot.
That's a total of 2 acres.
Yeah.
Is it worth negotiating?
I'm sorry?
Go ahead, Jay.
Does it make any sense to negotiate, or are we just simply not interested?
At the present time, there's so much work that would I would think that it would make more sense to actually demolish at least one of those buildings, because there's so much work that would have to be done on them. They don't have gas or sewer. They're on Roundhouse Road, which is unpaved right now. So it becomes really difficult to market them. I mean, I could go back and make an offer of maybe $100,000 for both properties, but that would be contingent on seeing the current leases that they have, how much income they're deriving on it, doing an environmental review of the property.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what they're being used for right now.
They're of no use if that road doesn't get paved either. I mean, so you're talking about paving a road, running utilities in, maybe demolishing a building. That's expensive.
Yes.
And were they included in our overall plan for that complex down there?
Apparently, in 2017, 2016, it was included because there was a purchase offer made on those that gave us a 5-year window. In our current plan that we have, that we had recently done this summer, they are not included.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Okay.
Based on that, I would suggest we pass.
I agree.
Unless
Okay, I know that they're come back and say, well, did you talk to the board before you made that decision? So I just wanted to make sure that you were aware. But that would be my recommendation as well.
Unless Mr. May they want to deed that over for $25,000, we would, wouldn't we?
I'm sorry?
If they were agreed to deed those over for $25,000, we'd probably accept, would we not?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I may actually go for $25,000 a property, so up to $50,000, but I can't see now, given the state of things, that, I mean, we're going to sit on those properties for another 2 years, 3 years.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and we already have options down there for people that we can offer.
Yes.
So.
All right. That's all I have for.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much. Now we're moving into public comment period. I don't think there's anyone online from the public. All right. And I think the last thing we have is there any need for us to go into executive session? All right. If not, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I would make that motion.
All right. Thank you, Dave. Motion to adjourn. So we can just move out of the meeting. Thank you. I don't think you need a second on that. All right. Megan, you want to pull up the next agenda? All right. The OCCRC board agenda. I see that. Okay. Can you go with the roll call, please?
Jeff Joyner,
Here.
Dave Rowley,
Here.
Jeff Lord, Craig Gelbsman, Tom Armeo, Patricia Kennedy, Cheryl Robinson,
Here.
Andrew Marietta,
Here.
Josh Edmonds.
Here.
Okay, so we do have a quorum.
We do? Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I'll defer my chairman's remarks. We'll go right into the approval of the minutes from the October 22nd meeting. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes that were sent out?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Dave. Can I get a second?
I'll second Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. New and unfinished business. Turn that over to you, Megan and Jody.
So these are basically the
Well,
same resolutions that we have
Same
for
ones.
the IDA. So the first one would be hiring Mostert, Manzanero, and Scott for our CRC financial audit for 2020.
All right, so these are all the same. Would the committee like to take these all at one vote, or would they like to have it separate?
I would make a motion for one vote.
I second that.
Okay.
All in favor? So all in favor of approving all three of these resolutions that were already addressed in the earlier board meeting, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All three of those resolutions passed. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Any need for executive session? I do not believe so. So can I get a motion to adjourn?
So move, Cheryl.
Thank you very much, Cheryl. All right, we'll move in. I think that's it, isn't it, Megan?
That is it. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you all very much for your time this morning. Continue to be safe. I wish all of you a happy and holiday season.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Aye,
thank you.
everyone.
You too.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go.
Back to snow removal.
Yes.
Yes.